Hey everybody, welcome to Fragrance Explorer. My name's Robert. Today we're going to be taking a look at Versace Eros. But today's video is going to be a little bit different, and I hope you'll stick around to the end because Versace Eros has been around for a while and it's a little bit older fragrance, but I wanted to cover it because I covered Eros Flame a couple of weeks ago. I also wanted to cover at the end of this video, if you hang around to the end, how I go about buying fragrances for this channel because I'm not sponsored and I purchase all of my fragrances. I try to find the best buy that I can before I purchase them. And so at the end of the video, I'm going to cover the discount sites that I go take a look at. And then once I receive a fragrance, the things that I check to make sure that I got a genuine fragrance as opposed to a counterfeit before I review them. So stick around to the end. But for now, let's take a look at Versace Eros. Let's get started. Versace Eros is a fresh, woody, slightly oriental fragrance that was introduced in 2012. Let's take a look at the note breakdown. In the top, we have mint, lemon, and green apple. In the mid, we have tonka bean, geranium, and ambroxan. And in the base, we have vanilla, vetiver, oakmoss, and cedar. So Versace Eros has been around for a while, and if you've never smelled it, it's got a really distinctive opening. When you first apply the fragrance, it's got a really strong mint note to it that really comes out. It's just really pungent. It strikes right off the bat, and you get the mint and the green apple in the top. That's just a striking fragrance. There's not really anything else quite like it that I have in my collection, and it's very distinctive smell. And it's really pleasant. It's very refreshing, but it's really striking if you've never smelled it before. And it's one of the reasons that this is such a loud performer when it comes to projection, is that strong mint and green apple opening that this has, because it stays around for quite a while. Then once those volatile notes in the top start to burn off a little bit, and you can actually, they develop some, and you can start getting into the mid, you get some of the sweetness that's there in the mid with the kind of the bittersweet almond of the tonka beans, and there's vanilla in the base that really gets reinforced by that tonka bean. And so there's a strong, sweet vanilla vibe that gets going on once you start getting past that minty opening and you start getting more into the mid and the base of this fragrance. It's very pleasing. It's quite a projector as far as fragrances go. It can fill a room. So it's one of the best performing fragrances that I've ever come across, in that it's long lasting and it's got a really strong sillage. So this fragrance really performs quite well. Now in the mid, you also have some Ambroxan in there, and if you don't know what Ambroxan is, it's a synthetic note that is meant to emulate ambergris, natural ambergris. And so people have different takes on ambergris, but my take on ambergris is it's a little bit musky and a little bit salty. And so in the mid with that Ambroxan, it kind of emulates that ambergris smell in that you get a little bit of muskiness and a little bit of saltiness in the mid. And then in the base, like I said, there's that vanilla sweetness that's in the base. And then in addition to that, you get the cedar wood, which is not real prominent. There's two different types of cedar in the base that are listed in the note breakdown, but this is not a real woody fragrance. It does have some cedar in there, but it's not really what stands out. The things that stand out about this fragrance, and they're really the kind of the key players, are the mint and the green apple in the opening, and then the strong vanilla vibe. Those three notes are kind of the lead players in everything that's going on with Eros, and it's really a pleasant fragrance. I like it a lot. When I first smelled it, it was quite striking, and this is my wife's favorite fragrance that I wear. And she compares anything else that I'm trying out for the channel that I'm going to review. Whenever I ask her about it, she always compares anything that I'm wearing to Eros because she likes it so much. And I think that's women respond to this fragrance a lot. It's a seductive fragrance, and I think that for wearing it as a man, it is a very pleasing fragrance for women to smell. Eros is presented in a beautiful blue turquoise bottle that was designed by Donatella Versace, and it's got this nice square, symmetric profile with the Greek key field around the Medusa head, the Versace Medusa head. On the top we get a metallic stopper that also has the Medusa head right in the top of the stopper, and it's a nice heavy stopper. Now it's got a tactile click, it clicks into place, but I would not lift this fragrance by this. It does not, it's not strong enough to actually support the weight of the bottle. But it is a nice heavy stopper, feels quality. The bottle's a nice heavy glass, and like I said, the Greek key field is on the back. The Greek key field adorns the front and frames the Greek, or the Versace Medusa head emblem there. Now on the bottom is where you're going to find the sticker that has your batch code, and the box should also have a batch code on the bottom that matches the batch code that's on the bottle. So let's talk a little bit about performance. Versace Eros is known to be a strong performing fragrance, and I easily get 8 hours of wear out of it. But the other way that it's also a strong performer is that it's really a projecting fragrance. It's got a heavy sillage. In fact, if you go more than just a few spritzes, you're going to easily be able to fill a room with the sillage if you go very heavy on the spritzing. So go light on it unless you're using it as a clubbing fragrance and you really want to stand out and you really do want to project really hard, because it is a strong performing fragrance. So you got to be real careful about that, and other people might be sensitive to it because it's got that strong mint note and then also that strong vanilla sweetness, and so some people might find this to be a cloying fragrance if you over apply. So that's my one warning about this fragrance. But other than that, it lasts a long time and it performs really, really well. And so I want to talk a little bit about how I go about buying fragrances for this channel, because I'm not sponsored in any way, so I purchase all my fragrances myself. And when I look for fragrances for the channel, I've got to try to make my money go as far as I can, so I try to find good buys on fragrances. I want to talk a little bit about the places that I go, and the two primary places that I go are either Amazon or fragrancenet.com. So those are the two primary places that I look for fragrances. There are a couple of other places that I will go occasionally, FragranceX and fragrancebuy.ca. But let me show you some screenshots about the way that I kind of look for fragrances, and then we'll recap at the end. But thanks for watching to the end here. So like I said, there's two primary places that I look for fragrances, Amazon and FragranceNet. And I typically, I would say 90% of the time, I'll buy at one of these sites. And FragranceNet almost always has a 30% discount running. So if I look something up at Amazon first, I'll typically open another window and open a FragranceNet as well, and I'll look up the same fragrance. And once you get on FragranceNet sites, you'll find out that they almost always have a 30% discount running. However, if you do a search for discount codes, there's almost, I've never found it not to be true, there's usually a 37% off discount coupon code that you can find to enter at the website to get 37% off the fragrance. So do a search for that, find that 37% off coupon. Once you copy the coupon code, go back to the FragranceNet site, add the item into your bag, and then go to your shopping bag and apply the coupon code. And once you apply that coupon code, you should see the discount come off. And I highly recommend that if you don't want to constantly be searching back and forth between windows trying to find different online discount codes, there's an application that's an extension for your browser called Honey. And if you join Honey, not only will you earn, and I'm not plugging Honey because I'm plugging Honey, I don't get sponsored from them either, but I do like using it. I have found it to be helpful. Once you install the Honey extension on your browser, it will automatically find the best coupon codes. It works really well with FragranceNet. It'll typically search 6 or 7 different active campaigns and then apply the coupon automatically to your shopping bag and get you a better discount than their standard discount. So I highly recommend installing Honey onto your browser. And then additionally, if you put the extension in your browser, you can use it on Amazon as well. It doesn't always work for finding the best price on Amazon because people list things, sometimes a different description for the listings of things. But when you find something that you like, you can add it to a Honey drop list and kind of monitor for when that item will go on sale. So once I've got things up on Amazon and I've got things up with the discount codes applied on FragranceNet, I'll do a side-by-side comparison between Amazon and FragranceNet. And more often than not, FragranceNet is cheaper than Amazon. However, I do purchase regularly from both sites. I don't exclusively purchase from either one. I just usually get my fragrances from either Amazon or FragranceNet. And part of that is because FragranceNet typically has really good prices, but they're two retailers that I kind of trust. Now, as you can see, I have this giant 200 milliliter bottle that I purchased the last time I purchased Eros. And for this 200 milliliter bottle right now, it's running $72 at FragranceNet and $85 at Amazon. So when I receive my fragrances, kind of the first thing that I do to kind of check that they're genuine and not counterfeit is I open them up and I check the bottom of the bottle and I check the bottom of the box to make sure that the batch codes match. That's a really good indicator that something is amiss if those two things don't match. Then additionally, once I have the batch codes and they're a match, I'll go to checkfresh.com and you'll select the fragrance manufacturer, you'll select the design house, and then you'll enter the batch code and it should report when that fragrance was made. So a couple of things that I found about ordering from online discounters as opposed to ordering from or purchasing at a retail outlet like Dillard's or Macy's is that occasionally you're going to find, once you do the check fresh, you're going to find batches that are older than you're going to find from a retail house. So the advantage that you get from buying from a discounter as opposed to retail is you get a decent discount on that fragrance because they might be buying older stock and they bought it at a discount, so they pass that savings on to you when you purchase it and you're not paying full retail. So final thoughts, this is a great fragrance. It's considered a clubbing fragrance, but I think that kind of pigeonholes it to something that, yeah, it can be a clubbing fragrance, but I think it's much more versatile than that. I've been wearing it since 2015 and it came out in 2012. I've found it to be able to wear in pretty much any weather except for the heat of the summer because it is kind of a projection beast. I don't wear it when it's really warm outside because I don't want it to project even more. It's one of my favorite fragrances. So I hope you guys like this video. I'm sorry that it's late getting out this week with everything that's going on with the coronavirus and people self-quarantining in their homes. I was trying to help our church get some videos up for our content, and I got behind on my own video production. But I appreciate you guys hanging around and watching the video and stay until the end. And I hope you got something from, kind of the shopping tips on how I look for the best buy for fragrances. And I hope you come back and watch again next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.